Well, tonight marks the end of our effort to cover 30 stories in 30 days that document how far Cincinnati has come since that unrest. As we conclude this series, I want to remind you of some of that progress and show you one piece of unfinished business for our entire community. In the last 30 days, we've seen stories that capture the hope of improved police-community relations, relations so tattered 10 years ago they sparked the unrest. We've seen the triumph of a school system seemingly reborn, typified by the resurrected Taft Information Technology High School in the West End and embodied in its principal, Anthony Smith. We've heard our neighbors assess how far we've come in race relations, the leaders of the two professional sports franchises as an example, and how far we have to go. We've charted efforts to build a stronger economy by building more diverse businesses, making more jobs available. This would seem to be a springtime of hope in Cincinnati, 10 years after the winter of our despair. And yet, even as we celebrate the changes in so many of our institutions the last 10 years, I'm haunted about the glaring concerns raised about perhaps our most important institution, the family.
I was so amazed at how many young men down here don't even know their fathers. I'm not talking about haven't seen them. They don't even know them.
Duran Hunter works with young men in Over the Rhine through Mercy Franciscan St. John.
It showed us what we shouldn't do, how we shouldn't act.
This is graduation night last week for 22 fathers. For 11 years, the Fatherhood Project at Talbert House has reconnected fathers like these with their children. A look at men and their children together at this graduation banquet shows it's working. Fathers like Rob Vogelsong, who graduated from the program as Father of the Year 3 years ago, have dealt with their personal demons, drugs, alcohol, failure to pay child support, and have committed to their children.
I guess I was a little wild, did things that I probably shouldn't have done, and I knew that if I had my kids, and would be back in their life, that, good chance, by the grace of God, even that, I'd settle down.
It's like he influences us, so he wants us to see the example he's making and the right way to live.
And that's the point behind this program, fathers committing to be in their children's lives.
I wanted to show them that, their father was a real father, and that he cared, that he loved them, and that he still does.
And Dr. Leif Knoll, a psychologist, says there is a community benefit to fathers reconnecting with their children. He says, quote, men who are married and have more children tend to pay more taxes, more likely to be employed. They are more likely to engage in fewer unhealthy behaviors. Now, there are two quick points to make here from Dr. Knoll. He says this is not just an urban core problem. The problem with absent fathers is beginning to show up in suburban and rural communities as well. Secondly, he says it is not just about absent fathers, but increasingly about absent mothers as well. He says the answer, long term, is to build loving, stable families with two-parent relationships that nurture the kids. Granted, that is a tall order, but as we have seen in the past month, this community has already faced a number of obstacles that seemed insurmountable, and overcome those obstacles. We can do it again if we want to.
Well, let's hope we can, and let's hope people do come together. During this process, this 30 days, we have encouraged people to listen, engage, and to act. Now, tonight, this series will culminate in a 1-hour documentary airing at 8 p.m. on WCPO Channel 9.